we should be live. Okay. So, all right. So the top 16 club championship in France is divided into two stages. There are teams which are divided into, everybody is divided into pools, and then 4 qualifying teams from each pool go into the higher pool, and the rest of the guys go into lower pool. In the A pool, you usually have 8 teams, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So top 4 players from each group, they qualify towards the higher pool. Okay. So this is my team, Chartres Check. In the first round, we play the guys from the Tremblay in France. This is our lineup: youngsters Maurice, Marc-André. Then we had Darha Daniel, who appears not to play well in this tournament. He lost some rating points. Then we had Raouf Mamedov, super solid player in this event. And then me, Laurent Fressinet, a theoretical genius. And then we have Maxime Lagarde, Christian Bauer, and there is a women's board. So there's 7 men's board and there is mandatory 1 women's board. And in our team, Miss Dalit Cornet Taimante is been a veteran player for many years now. So yeah, so she is playing. The one unique feature about the French teams is that you can, if everybody is within the rating range, which should be not more, I think, than 100 points, then you can pretty much change the players each round. Okay. So in the first round, I play against Kabalia, and let's return quickly to my opponents. Kabalia is the well-known coach of Volodar Murzin. And as you can see, this team is very international. We have people from different parts of the world, and you can play for this team. Okay. All right, so this is my first round game. And how do you flip the boards? There. All right, so he plays e4, I play e5, and there's Spanish. I go for the Berlin. d3 is one of the main lines, of course. Castling and d4 is also. I usually play a system with d6 here, although you can play bishop c5 and treat it like an Italian game. But, you know, I don't like really Italian games, so I play d6, trying to be extremely solid. Bishop d7. So what I'm doing is pretty much playing like Steinitz defense in the Spanish game, except it should be a little bit improved because he played d3 instead of rook e1, c3, and d4. But okay, it's not a big deal. And g6 is what I usually play, but bishop e7 is also fine. So here, and he probably prepared this line. But it's kind of crazy, yeah? White plays d3 and then he plays d4. He's still a little bit better, and now he plays d5. So this pawn went here, here, and here. Yeah, so he spent 3 moves on moving this pawn. Normally you play knight e7 here, and the idea is if he takes, you take with this knight, c4, h6, knight c3, castles, and then you go a5, and like this. So this is very close to equal. White is a little bit better because, you know, better bishop, and he has more concrete approach to this game because he can play a4, trades, and hit some of my things on the queen side later. And I don't really have much counterplay here. So for example, e5, there is this famous King's Indian trick. So he has to be a little bit careful. Queen c2. And maybe knight b5, and now he's ready for this, yeah? So take, 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 queen e4, king here, a5. Pretty much grab. And pretty much c6, yeah. Take, take. So it's kind of annoying advantage for whites. I think maximum black can hope for is a draw. And the way to achieve it is just trade everything. But if he takes, there is d5, yeah. So it's a little trick. So that's why the engine takes here with the bishop. And you kind of have to play this. And this looks like a draw, yeah. Alright, but okay, knight b8 is also a move. Good evening, Mr. Arsenal von Ricci. Good evening, Mr. Falcon. Bishop a3 is to prepare c5, yes, because the structure is very similar to the King's Indian, and bayonet attack is exactly white plays like that, okay? Okay, so I played knight b8, and the thing about my opponent Kabali is that he plays King's Indian himself, okay? So I felt like it was not a bad choice to play King's Indian structure against the King's Indian player, because, you know, King's Indian players, they are very notorious. They really love to play King's Indian, very faithful to their opening, so it was a kind of a little bit torture for him, I think. Objectively, white is completely better. So I played h5 here, and the idea is to trade off this bishop, yeah, because we have seen how bad this bishop can be. I mean, in this position, without this bishop, I don't really have any attack. So I decided to play positionally here, but then again, yeah, you can always go back to the main plan, yeah, castles, h6 and f5. You need h6 to stop knight g5 e6, yeah, because without this bishop, this is really weak. Okay, h5, I don't really recommend playing this move, but I wanted to experiment in this game. So he prepares b4, I play b6. The idea is that of this move is I'm waiting for him to play developing move, and after this bishop trade, I kind of win a tempo. Alright, thank you for subscribing, Mr. Andromeda. Yeah, it's very solid, but black is a little bit worse, yeah. So as I said, he plays bishop g5, and now I play bishop h6. So I kind of win a tempo, I think. Okay, it's questionable, right? It looks like I win a tempo, but sometimes you might want to play c6 and keep the pawn here. So it's kind of trade-off, all right? All right, let's go to the game. Takes, and he plays h4. Very nice move. Black is worse, obviously. And the thing is, how much worse am I? Because this is a team game, all right? For him, in order to win this, he has to, you know, take some risk, yeah? He has to take some risk in this position. So this is around here, I offered him a draw with black because I knew that, you know, as I said, it was like a psychological trick to see what he is playing for, yeah? So he refused the draw offer, and but he has to do something, yeah? He has to do something. So the only way for white to break open this position, if he plays h4, there is no f4, because knight gets this wonderful square and black is completely fine. So the only way for white to try to play for a win, he must play for c5, yeah? But in order to do that, you know, he has to do something like either knight b3, prepare this, but if knight moves here, then his king side becomes open. This is the advantage of having king and rook here, okay? So for example, if he plays knight d2, I can play this, and it's already bad position, yeah? Because I can play this, and my rook is already here, all right? So like knight f3, and there is queen f6, very important move. So he has to, it's not very easy for him to, I mean, white's advantage is obvious. Yeah, but how to win? It's not clear. So I thought knight b5 is a sensible move, prevents my queen from moving anywhere. And he just plays this, and potentially he prepares stuff like take, 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 and take on e5, yeah, because he takes here. So this is maybe a little bit waste of time, because potentially you kind of can go for this plan and play this structure, yeah. But I really didn't want to, so I play this. He makes a waiting move, useful move, protecting the pawn so the knight can move. And I play this, yeah. So the idea is also potential to play queen b7, double the rooks here. And, you know, there are no bishops on the board, which is good for me, because his king will be always like under some sort of tactical trick. So every time he plays c5, there's tactics. You know, black has a lot of compensation. So that's why the evaluation is 0.5. He plays queen c2, and I play this move, you know, waiting move. So all my pieces are like placed at maximum effectiveness. Knight protects against c5, rook protects this pawn, knight protects the king, hits this guy, queen is preventing c5 because of this knight hanging, and I don't take this pawn. So it's very difficult for him to make an improvement. So he plays this, prepares c5, take, take, and knight d6, thanks to the spin, yeah. And I played this move, which is, you know, just moving the queen away from the pin. Yeah, very normal chess. King g2, useful move. And I played this. Yeah, also useful move. Like, what do you want? The idea of this move is that this rook potentially protects the pawn, but it also, in some lines, I can go f5 and this rook will be important, which you will see later in the game. Yeah. Hi, Pavel. White is better than black is worse. I agree, Pavel. Yes. Offering the draw is, I think, is extremely effective weapon. You kind of gauge your opponent's psychological state and what he's playing for. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, experienced people. Thank you. Thank you for the follows. All right. So. Yeah, so he obviously, as an experienced player, he understands that in order to play for a win here, he has to do something, you know, take some risk. But if we look at the match situation very quickly, you can see that the match situation was not going well for him. Yeah, you see these games here. Can you guys see it? Ah, you cannot see it. Ah, okay. So the match situation was that Mamedov was already close to win. Freycinet was close to win, and our lower boards is our strength. They also were like winning. So he was under extreme pressure to try to get at least some point for the team. Okay. So let's see. Rook c1. And the idea is that he's kind of preparing this knight d3 thing, yeah. Or maybe move the queen first and then knight d3, and then he's ready to play c5, which I cannot really allow. So yes, I can play rook e8 and I can just chill, but I wanted to show that, you know, I can play some active chess. So I play knight g4, and he kind of goes defensive, yeah, protects everything, prepares again knight e2, knight d3. And I decided to move the queen just in case from this x-ray, yeah. So rook c2, waiting move, king g8. I mean, yeah, the computer just, you know, he chills. Yeah, he just plays knight f6, queen c8. But okay, let's check what is this, yeah. If he plays knight f6, knight e1, queen c8, he plays knight d3. The idea is that you can play c6 at some point, yeah. Yeah, so this was one of the critical points. You have to play c6 at some point, because knight here is really bad, right? And now he has some weaknesses to deal with, and this position is immediately unclear. Tactics, knight is hanging, probably take, queen e4 runs into knight f6, and as you can see, this is already extremely unclear position, yeah. The only thing is, like, can he take here? And yes, probably he can. but after this, there is no good way for knight to go, and he must play this, yeah? So take, and it's a good idea to trade one knight, absolutely. You gotta trade one knight, man. Otherwise, he has huge advantage, so grab. And this endgame is unpleasant, very, very unpleasant, especially with the pawn here. If the pawn was here, it's probably a little easier to play. But still, yeah, it's not easy for white to claim advantage because black controls the 6th line. Yeah, the 6th line is very important. And then you can just stand. So yeah, you can play like that too, but I wanted to create some counterplay because he was kind of starting to run low on time. All right, so I came up with this idea because I know he has to move his knight. Yeah, so he moves his knight and I go f5. And now, you know, in time trouble, he has to decide what to do, you know. And of course, he should play knight f3 and go back and prepare f3 and white is better. But it's not so simple. It's not easy, yeah? Not an easy decision because you go here, I can grab, potentially now the rook can enter the game. So knight f6, take, knight g5 and f4. And this position is 0.9, like in this position is unclear, okay? It's extremely unclear. A single incorrect move by either side can lead to huge change in the position. That's why I love King's Indians, yeah, because yes, advantage white, but it's very difficult for him. He has to combine understanding of the strategy together with the tactical acuity and correct calculation, yeah. It's not easy at all. So what he played this safe move, but I can play this now, yeah. And the idea is that after the trade, my knight can go to f5. The other idea is suddenly, you see this rook, it became very useful. It protects the pawn, opens the queen, and suddenly I have this huge threat of g5 with the knight protecting this pawn. And you can see this evaluation, black is better. Hi Gypsy, thanks for the sub, man. So you see, white didn't make any single like bad move, and suddenly he's worse, yeah, because h4 in the King's Indian is not really played, yeah, because now it's a hook for me to use. After f5 he can play c5, but no, but he cannot play c5. I can just take it, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point. He needs to play knight d3 first. That's why he played knight d3. But now I'm ready to play g5, and he didn't even open the position yet, and his king is already open, okay? So he was extremely nervous here. But he has to, and he played it. It's a very principled move, but he's worse, yeah? Yeah, I had to play queen e3, I think, yeah. Hit this guy, king h7, and the engine suggests going here and stop g5, yeah. So maybe, yeah. Because after this move, it's like g5 and black is better. For some reason, the engine says that I should play it immediately. Probably not to open the b file for the rook. Kind of makes sense. But I just didn't want to take any chance, wanted to get rid of all my weak pawns. Take on d6, and now he fell into huge thought, and he was really in a time trouble, yeah? Really in a time trouble. So the major problem is that this king is really badly placed, yeah? If he takes, it's pretty much game over, yeah? Because take, h4, and then rook comes, this knight is hanging, knight comes, potentially another rook coming. So he cannot take this pawn. So there are two moves here that he can play. He can take here, or he can play knight c7. I was a little bit worried about this move because of the double threat. I must play this, yeah? Take, rook g3. And one of the main ideas here is that if he plays something like this, I can play this, and the threat is rook h3 and queen g3 mate, okay? That is like one of the biggest themes here. Well, see, queen g5 became first line now. And it's extremely messy position. I can also take here and black has compensation, but it's also messy, yeah? So Yeah, this is King's Indian, all right? Check, and he must prevent this, so he plays this. So black is rook down, but huge compensation. Yeah. Yeah, remember, I think like you can play even this. Yeah, you can even play this, and it's like a draw. And the reason it's a draw is because this crazy endgame apparently is a draw. All right. Black is actually, white has to be very precise not to lose this with extra rook. Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. So here, and the pawns are really fast. He has his own pawns, he has extra rook, but this knight is very far. Yeah, so like knight c7, e3. Yeah, and yeah, he can get a check, but after this, hit, attack. Apparently rook a1 or b1 here, and he must sack the knight, yeah, because also you have 95 coming. There's also some mating ideas. So like if here, then he's already much worse, because he goes here, you take rook e1, e2, and d2, yeah. So, and he's already lost. Yeah, that was kind of crazy position, yeah. So instead he took here and took here. Yeah, I was thinking he should take with the knight, but it's probably not the same. So he takes here, and we have this crazy position. And you have to kind of see this move which I played, which is, I think, the best move. And it turns out to be clearly the best. Everything else is unclear. The whole point is that if I take with rook now, he has this knight e4, and it protects against the mate, yeah, and also centralized knight. But after queen f8, I hit this guy, and if he moves, and I take, and my queen protects everything, yeah. But if he protects the knight, and the only way to protect the knight is to play this. But then it's bad because there is this trick, okay, and this pawn and everything is hanging, yeah. And if he takes, black is just pawn up, and king is in huge trouble. So this was a very difficult move to find, to be honest, but when I saw it I was very happy. Yeah. Yeah, so this was super sharp game. At this point we were both in time trouble, but obviously I'm attacking, and it's very close to material equality. And he played what did he play? He played 94. And obviously at this point I know that I have an advantage. Yeah, there is double threat. I also threat to take this guy, and there is no attack. Yeah, free game. So rook c4, he finds the only move, and I just take this guy. Yeah, undoubling the pawn, creating this pawn protected by the rook. There is a huge check threat, and king is, you know, a king blockader with the two knights present. It's not the best blockader in the world. All right, so at this point, you know, the engine calculates this as winning, but it's still not easy, and it's very tactical. So he plays this, and I saw this move, but I forgot about it. Yeah, hitting the rook, but most importantly, hit this pawn, and the knight is coming. Yeah, and the rook c5. You get this knight, and he cannot take it. And the problem for white is that his queen must protect the pawn, but also must protect the square. So he is lost, okay? Because check, and you get rid of this blockader, okay? So that was a winning move, and I saw it, but I forgot about it for some reason, and I wanted to play safe, so I played this move, and it's a huge mistake, yeah? Huge mistake. So at this point he plays this, and he plays for a win, because rook intends to go here, and also there is a threat, and you know, and if he managed to play d6, and my king is also open, okay? So now I'm getting very nervous. Yes, I was always looking for ideas like rook a2, knight e3 check. and I was trying to calculate it, but in time trouble it's not so easy. Yeah? He obviously cannot go here because after this, check, check, there is mate. Yeah? So he must play this, and I was calculating this line. And if I play g2, unfortunately, he has this check, okay? And if my king goes here, he takes this pawn with a check. But if I play like this, he takes this pawn now. And after the check, I don't have this double check anymore. Yeah. And look at the evaluation of this position. This is equal, okay? I don't know how it's equal, but it is equal, okay? And I calculated this far and I didn't see anything. So what I didn't see is I didn't see that this can wait and I can play this. I mean, I saw this with the idea of mate, but after d6, I didn't see knight d1, okay? So this move is what I missed. And of course there's mate threat and check threat, yeah. Yeah, so it's completely winning. But it's kind of hard to see with a few minutes on the clock. So what I did second best. I took this knight and I found this move. So I'm stopping knight e6 and also I'm looking at this idea and also check and rook here, okay? So he plays d6, very natural move, however it is losing. And I had to find this move, after which he resigned, okay? I think this is pretty beautiful idea, to be honest, because he goes like this, check, this very important check, and this, yeah. You see why the queen was here. And the threat of mate, he is lost. Yeah. Yeah, so you can start with 93, but I thought this was just as good. And it's just lost for him. Yeah, he can take with the king. Yeah, he can do that. Because if there is check, he has this. And it's lost, but it's not so easy. Yeah? I can take. I can probably win this game because there's knight f4 check. Yeah. But of course, the main line is g2, rook g1, and there is this queen f7 here, and you grab this. And the rook is coming to h8. Yeah, so black is winning. All right, so, it's kind of funny because this is a time control move, yeah? This is last move in the time control, and I saw this and I was so happy. And he resigned. It was a crazy game, man. HS Lauer, yeah. Yeah, this was nice start to the tournament, very nice start. So in this tournament I played a lot of black games. Let me show you. All right, this was the A pool. It was in the group stage. So you see I play 1 2 3 4 blacks, 2 whites, and I score +2, but I still lose 2 points, okay? So our team at this point, so look at how, the team placement on the boards was done, yeah? So this round I played on the 4th board, Marc-André 1st board, Darche 2nd, Mamedov 3rd, Fressinet 5th, Lagarde 6th, and Christian 7th, yeah? So the next round, look at our boards, yeah? Now it's Darche 1st, Marc-André is 2nd, I'm on the 3rd board, and Mamedov went 4th. This was a very tough match, by the way. We won only because we put one of our strongest players on the 7th board. And he managed to win the only game in this match, and this was absolutely critical, yeah? So, very tough. Very tough. Yeah, I played whites, and I played against this Puranic guy, and I got absolutely nothing in the opening. So the thing I like about the French championships, team championships, is that the boards are not fixed. You don't have to play on the same board. You can just move around. So that makes preparation impossible pretty much, because you know that for the game you can easily have 3 or 4 different opponents. So you have to wait for the pairings to come up, and the pairings are only placed like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the game starts at 2:15. Yeah, so there is not much time. Okay. All right, so against Puranik, Indian player, so I play very solid. When I play for the team, the idea is to play extremely solid and not to lose a game, okay? And as you can see, that's what our team did in this round. All draws except the round 7, except the board 7 win. So here I play this ancient line. I know that everybody plays a4 here, but you know, who cares? So queen c2 here, bishop d2. Famous line that was invented by Grandmaster Sosonka. And yeah, rook a7 was like ancient move, but okay, he plays knight c6. And apparently this guy is a theoretical player and he analyzed this, yeah. And unfortunately I have to give him this bishop. And white is better. I mean, I'm playing all the logical moves, yeah. But nope, white is not better. Yeah, it's just equal. That's pair of bishops. I play normal chess. I play this, and he just plays a5. Yeah. So this guy was theoretical player. He prepared this. Yeah, I mean, you cannot really prepare, you know, this old line, but he knew it. Yeah. So what we're doing here is we're playing like really solid chess. I play this, take, rook a8, back. I play rook e1, so my knight is free. And at this point, you know, I was really long time and I offered a draw because I didn't see any advantage. So what could possibly happen, and extremely likely, he can play this and queen a8, yeah. So I must play this, and you know, I'm kind of pinned because he's hitting all these pawns and he has a pair of bishops. I really didn't like my position here. Yeah, rook d8, very interesting move, but you need to see this move, yeah, which is kind of crazy. The threat is rook c8, and he's also hitting this guy. So, yeah, the original idea was to play knight d3, and play knight b3 and knight c5. But in this iteration, it's not good, yeah, because he just plays and wins the material. Because my pawns are hanging too much. Yeah, so I'm not sure he would have found rook d8 or not, but he can also play this, very simple, yeah. Now I can play knight d3 and this. And the most likely thing here is I play this, he plays this. He keeps just chasing my queen and not trading stuff, yeah. Because if he trades, then white is a little bit better, yeah, because his pawn structure is kind of ruined and he traded his active rook. But he can play rook a2. So I offered a draw here. I didn't want to risk him finding this move instead of rook c8, because after this move it's kind of unpleasant for me. I must take, and if I go back, that's what probably I was gonna play, yeah. This, and he can take here. Yeah, and this becomes really wild. I probably have to play this. Rook a3. Queen e2 probably must be played. Now the bishop is hanging. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, you can take. Bishop a6. I got both knights hanging. But the idea is that there is check, yeah. Yeah, so see, it's very tricky. But again, when you're low on time, you don't want to take risks. So this, knight c3, check, take, queen d7, and it's equal for some reason. I don't know. I don't know, because his king is kind of open, I guess, yeah. Like a bishop comes here, take. Rook e8 looks logical, queen c4. Bishop f6, c5, bishop g2, take. And rook here. And this is crazy move, yeah. Because if he takes, you take on g7, queen d4. But you gotta do it, yeah. And this is the perpetual. This is perpetual, actually. Wow. Yeah, so you see, I mean, like, it would still be a draw, but I would have to find all these moves, yeah. I would have to find this move. Pair of bishops is nothing to sneeze at. A pair of bishops is very, very strong. Right? So I offered the strategic draw after this, and he agreed. Yeah. So you know, you gotta have the sense of danger. Yeah. I didn't get any. I played logical moves, and I didn't get any advantage in the opening. It was kind of crazy. Yeah. 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 Another mess. All right, but we won the match against one of our opponents, very strong opponents. And then we go on to round 3. All right, so in round 3, we are paired with Khan, team from Khan. And again, Fressinet was on board 7. Now he's on board 3. He did lose the game, but see, I was switching between 4, 3, and 5. Yeah, now I'm on board 5. And Mamedov managed to win. See, these guys, they have pretty much all teams had grandmasters on the top 3 boards, but the boards 4, 5, 6, 7 were absolutely critical. And our boards here, as you can see, they just won. Our woman is extremely strong also. Okay, so you see we scored here heavily, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in the second half of the match. All right, so I'm playing this Lamart guy. The thing about this guy is that all right, never mind. Let's see. Let me bring this thing closer because I just noticed that my mic is far away. Okay, so flip the boards. I'm playing black. And what we have is we have another Italian game. And I played this. Yeah, I just don't, I stopped playing bishop c5 because those things are like such a mess. I don't know what to do. But after bishop e7 is simple. I play this, and they usually play a4. Fabiano actually played in a3 in his recent game in the Norway tournament, yeah, which just ended a couple of days ago. So he played a3, extremely interesting. But a4 is a classical Italian game. You gain space, pushing pawns, etc., etc. And then I remember that, you know, a5 is actually better than a6 because in a lot of lines you kind of need this bishop hitting this thing, and also you need the square. Like for example, c3, d4, take, and then knight gets the square. Okay, so a5, yeah, you like meet your opponent on the whole board. Yeah, you don't allow him to cross into your territory. So rook e1, h6, preventing bishop g5. White has little small problems with this bishop development. So he plays a3, stops bishop g4, and you can play bishop e6 and you can play this structure, but I'm not a big fan of this structure. I really hate double pawns. So I played this. All right, simple chess. He plays knight d5 and I went here. Yeah, you can take the knight, sure. But then you need kind of to play this. And I really was not happy about the structure, especially after this move. Because as you can see, all my pawns are on the dark squares, yeah. And I just really don't like this, okay. Yes, you can play bishop g5, that's true. You can play bishop g5 and black is okay. Yeah. But during the game, it's not so easy to find all this stuff, yeah. So instead I just play this, and now the reason for this move is now you can trade and the knight goes here, okay, instead of d4. And he has to do something. Everything is protected. He has no squares of invasion, which is why the computer values it as equal. Yes, I suspect that taking here knight h2 is probably the best line for white. But it's another huge mess. I don't understand knight d8. Actually, I understand it. The idea is that if he plays f4, you can kind of play this and then you take the knight, yeah? And then black is okay. So the big question, why you cannot play this immediately? Yeah, you can. Okay, you can do it. Here, take. And now you can take it with the rook, or you can take it with the queen. With the queen is preferable. He has to play this to stop f5, yeah, knight here. And you just meet him here, yeah. Meet him here. Queen f3, c6, threatening d4. And you can just play here, and if knight f5, you can go back. Because this thing, the moment he plays g4, you have to open the center, okay? Because his king will be open. And this pawn, even if he wins it, is not much. Take, 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 because it's doubled, yeah. Queen d7 probably, queen d6 is fine. Rook goes here. So double extra pawn, if you trade the bishops, open king, not really no advantage for white, yeah, okay. So very limited amount of pieces on the board, which makes life for black easier. So he plays this and I just take, yeah. Take, take, put the knights here, and white is a little bit better. He plays this, yeah, and I just trade the bishop, yeah. Take, take, yes, and guess what? He can play d5 and then we get similar pawn structure to the first round game, remember? That was kind of wild, yeah. He can play d5 and we end up in the same pawn structure. King's Indian. And he should actually play it, yeah. He should actually play it. So the thing here is that I can play this first, yeah. With the idea of knight f4 something, but yeah. But I thought that, you know, d5, I play here, and then I can play this and put the bishop on g5. Instead of fianchetto the bishop, you can play bishop e7. And also there is knight h4 thing. He needs to stop knight h4, because if you put the bishop here, knight h4, and trade the bishop, black is just completely okay. But if he plays this, then you can potentially play f5, yeah. So it's extremely, it's starting to get like kind of risky for him, because bishop goes here, rook f8. If you open the f file, again, it's a risk, yeah, for white. So that's why he didn't do it. He plays queen b3, normal move, b6. Yeah, remember I always told you guys about not putting the pawns on the color of your bishop? But in this particular situation, what I'm doing is I'm preparing for the eventual capture here, and then the bishop can go to c5 and trade this guy, which will go here for sure. All right, so he takes. There was this crazy line actually, where black is completely okay. Yeah, like if he takes and you just take here. And then rook e8 and rook e4, and it's just dead draw. All right. Yeah, you can do that. But I was trying to not to trade too many pieces. I was trying to play for win here. I was thinking that if I can trade these bishops, then this knight would create some threats to his king. Okay. And rook f6. This is another reason why I like the structure and why I played e6 and took with the rook. The rook here protects this rook. Now you create the threat of rook f3, and you potentially, and the rook can move on the 6th rank, okay, between c6 with the idea of bishop c5, and also between f6, and you can take this. This is actually a pretty unpleasant threat for white, because knight is here, can easily jump to h4, and then followed by the queen and creating mating threats. All right. You're always afraid of losing control of the d file. Yes, but the problem is you must create counterplay. This is a very strong threat. If the knight goes here, then it means the knight is coming here, and the knight doesn't do much here, okay? The moment this knight leaves, your knight can jump here. Once he plays g3, again, possible targets, yeah? The other idea is you put the queen here, eyeing this pawn, and queen goes to c6 and bishop to c5. So let's see what happened. He plays logical move, and I play queen e8. The reason I didn't play I played queen c8. The reason I didn't play this, I was kind of worried about this. But the endgame is completely okay for black. You don't even have to go into the endgame, but apparently this is completely okay. And rook a5, yeah. And if he plays this, not only your bishop gets the square, but rook d6 with the idea of rook here and here. Yeah, so bishop here, rook a8, bishop c3, f6. And if he tries to hit this guy, rook d3. And a3, yeah. So there are a lot of tactical motives, but you see how this knight suddenly came into the game? And black is already kind of better, yeah. Also the bishop here. So this transfer of the bishop is not to be recommended, but it's okay, yeah. So the reason I played this, I want to maintain the threat of rook f3. So he has to do something. So he plays king h2, reasonable. And I play rook b8. This is a useful move. And the idea behind this move, in some lines, I can actually just play this and go for this double pawn, but this huge threat to his king, yeah? So he plays rook d2. For example, here, theoretically, you can play this, okay? So let's see, take, queen c4 is already a problem because now you can play this, you're hitting the mate, yeah? And after c4s, you can see black is better. Black is better despite being pure exchange down. Actually, not this move, yeah. Okay, you must play queen e6 first. Queen e6 and king h7, yeah. So white in Zugzwang, because this rook must protect this thing. Queen must protect this guy. And his rooks are completely paralyzed, pretty much, yeah. So he must stand and you just improve. You improve and potentially this rook can even come here. Alright, crazy position, but white is just absolutely paralyzed. Really can't do anything. Queen f6, take, and knight d3, and you got to this pawn, yeah. See, -6, crazy position. Yeah, so you can play, that was my original idea, but I kind of chickened out about it, yeah. I kind of chickened out of it because, you know, I was worried that if he plays something like this, and then I'm stuck with this permanent weaknesses. If I don't find something, then he's better. Yes, and the idea was to play this, of course, yeah. You need to put immediate pressure on the files. As you can see, the computer actually evaluates this as better for black, and I kind of agree with this. But okay, very close to equal. So, okay, so that's the reason why I play rook b8. To play bishop c5. Yeah. Do I watch anime sometimes? Yeah. Alright, so but this is a team game, okay? So I'm trying to be safe. So he plays this, and I play bishop d6. Not the best move, actually. Not the best move. But I wanted to keep an eye on this king, okay? So what you can do is actually you can trade the queens here. It's kind of amazing. The whole point, you know, the bishop gets traded. So rook c6. And the threat is suddenly rook c4, and you hit both of these guys, okay? Suddenly. The knight is really well placed here. He protects the bishop. Critical. Yes, my pawns are all in the dark squares, but where is my weakness? Okay, the only weakness I have is this, potential, and this. And both are easily defended. f6, h5, king f7, and rook protects this weakness, yeah? And I also create counter threats. So it's very difficult for white to make any progress. All right, but I played this, and he plays queen d1. He plays very safe. Because the reason I also played it, because in some lines I wanted to take maybe play f5 and there's some checks, yeah? And also close the file, of course. So for example, if he plays something like this, I was thinking maybe I can take here, but not yet, yeah? The idea was to play queen e8. And for example, if queen c4, now I can take and play this. And queen e7, yeah. Then queen f6. As you can see, this is suddenly equal. White is not better because of f5, yeah? And this king is under huge attack. Or you trap the bishop, okay, fine. Yeah. So that's the reason why I played it. He plays queen d1, very solid. And I play here. Queen b7 is possible for sure. Queen e8. And rook d5. And he's just, you know, protecting against my knight moves. And protecting against actually b5 also. Because with rook here, I can play b5 and kind of go for a4, a3. So at this point, you know, I really don't see any way for me to play for a win. And I just, you know, accepted the draw. I played this. And then he played this move, which was kind of crazy. I really didn't look at c5, but as you can see, this would be a very interesting move. His rook is completely cut off. And it's not easy. He has to play b4 probably. So it will still be a draw. It will still be a draw because I played here, he takes here, take, and take on c3, yeah. It's still a draw. So, but what I did, I played this. I played this with the threat of c6 and his rook on b3 will be like really sad. So he returned and I returned. He played here and I went back here and he came back here as a draw, yeah. So this guy is only 2500, but you know, he's extremely solid. Very tough to break, and okay, so you accept the draw, okay? It doesn't matter what rating your opponent is. The position is equal, yeah? And if I play for a win, it's not easy, yeah? All right, so how did we do in this match? We won the match. Darcha lost. Marc-André won. Fresinier lost. You see 4 games, very decisive, yeah? 2 wins for each team. But what matters is the end. I made a draw, and our 3 last boards won, and we won the match. So, for the round number 4, we are playing Klapdishek Mats Fischer. Very interesting name. As you guys can see, there are a lot of Indian players in this event. Yeah. A lot of Indian players. But as you can see, fortunately for us, you know, they have like very few grandmasters, and our team is like entire grandmaster team. Yeah. So on paper, we are much stronger. So I played board 4. We gave some guys some rest. Yeah. Fresinier, he lost previous round, but he came back with the win here. We put our first board on board 5, so he won. And they also put the grandmaster on the 5 board, yeah, and put the 4th guy here. All right, so I didn't realize I'm gonna play this guy, but okay, let's see the game. I play white, and I decided to play. Wait, I play black. Oh, I play black. Sorry. Yeah. So my goal was to hold black color in this tournament. So. And he just plays the same line the previous guy played against me. Yeah, he just repeated this line. Okay, so I repeated, you know, draw. Ah, he played bishop b5. This was like his prep. Okay, so bishop d7, and he plays knight e2. Okay, here, knight g3. So how do I play this position? Yeah, because obviously with the pawn here, this bishop is very strong here. So I thought that, you know, I needed to get rid of this bishop, and I played this. Yeah, you can play knight b8 immediately, but I played this first, and then knight bishop here, and knight b8 finally. Yeah. The problem is that the setup with the g6 and bishop g7 is not really that great. Okay, and I should have played this immediately. And go for this. So the idea is this pawn formation with the bishop here. Bishop protects the king. really well. Really well, good protection. Every time he plays knight f5, this pawn is hanging, okay? So in ideal scenario, he will have to play for the same thing. But here's actually a mistake. So if he plays bishop e3, you can play bishop c5 pretty much, and it's equal. So this bishop is best placed for the bishop in these pawn structures. Okay, don't put him on g7. Really not the greatest place for the bishop. All right, so that was my mistake. Okay, not a big mistake, but inaccuracy, okay? So bishop d2, I went back, he went back, and I need to trade this bishop. So this is the third game where we get the structure, yeah? We get the structure with this pawn and this pawn formation, right? We had the first round game, we had the previous round, I have the structure, and now I have the structure again. So that was kind of crazy, to be honest. Yeah, the Philidor. Oh, thank you for the gift. Did Twitch disable Prime membership subs? I have no idea. Yeah. So in this tournament, I had this huge practice on this pawn formation, and as you guys have probably figured out, it's very, very solid, very hard to crack, yeah, without white taking some risk. So I play here, he plays, what did he play? He played here, and he plays queen c2, okay, and I played the same thing, yeah, b6, queen c8, and I'm preparing for this trade or preparing for d5. So somewhere here I offered him a draw again, and he kind of played on. Here, okay, so I think I offered the draw and he agreed here, okay. I don't think this was actually played. But okay, if he played it, then see, evaluation, very difficult for him to do something. b4, you can play c6, yeah. Or you don't have to play c6, you can just do your thing. But what can you do? Yeah, what can you do? Yeah, I think c6 is best actually. And I think rook should be on e8 here to prepare for this thing, because it's the only plan that he has in this structure. The only plan. That's the only plan that he can possibly play. See, b5, engine says it's advantage white, but it's just dead draw, yeah? Because the game is locked completely. Yeah, he can play this, and maybe I can even play this. Because b5 locks the board, and if he tries to improve this position, then you can always play h4, play for this weakness, yeah? And king h7, remember how we needed to trade this bishop? That's the idea. And again, white takes a lot of risk here. So, very solid position for black, I think. So I offered him a draw, he agreed, he's an IM, he's only 24-47, but okay. You know, the important thing is in the match event, you play for the team, solid, and the team wins, yeah? I mean, the most important thing is not to lose a game when you play a team match. He is lower rated, it doesn't matter, okay? I'm playing black. With each black draw, my team gets more white color games. And with the white, you have chances to win, okay? All right, so that was round 4. We won this match. I mean, we won every match, but okay. So the match number 5, we play against the boys from Colombe. Well, I'm not sure this is actually the boys. Yeah, it's Bois Colombe. I don't know what that means. Probably it's a Club des Checs, the Bois Colombe. It's probably a place. Yeah. So this team was kind of on paper. It doesn't look that good. Yeah, they have FMs. They don't have a single grandmaster. But the score was not so simple. Yeah, they actually managed to inflict defeat. 2391 beat our Marc-Andrea. Yeah, Darcha drew with this 2400 guy. And I played with this guy. Yeah, As you can see, again, our last boards, they all won pretty much. So let's see, let me remember this game. Oh, I'm playing black, yeah. Okay, I'm playing black. Yeah, that's pretty much my strategy for this event, okay? The boys. Bois Lisa? Okay. The forest, yeah. Alright, so I'm playing black again, and you know, by this time I figured they probably prepared e5, my e5 line, like to death, yeah. So I decided to wing it. So I played Sicilian to throw him off. Yeah, he was clearly... Actually, the funny thing is, this guy, he doesn't play chess much, okay? I look at his games, he's like, don't have any games for the previous classical chess for the previous couple of years. But I played this guy early this year in the Fisher chess event in Grenke, okay? I got paired with this guy, and that was like absolutely crazy game that I won. I don't remember if you remember this game, but I found this f6, g5, g4. I mean f6, e5, h4, g4. It was crazy, crazy game. So, and he plays this. I'm like, okay, it's probably his specialty. Yeah? So there's several ways to play. I usually play b6, but I remember that I was looking at a6 on this line. But then I couldn't remember anything after that. So he plays g3. And I do know that I probably should play this, and I do remember that it was line like this. But I couldn't remember the specifics, and I didn't want to risk the prep, but probably that's the best way for black to play. And if queen e2, at least his queen gets here, yeah? Not the rook, but the queen. So it should be okay. Instead I played this, and I went e5. I just wanted to close this bishop. But unfortunately, you know, white is better here, so he plays this, correct. And I played this line just to stop d4, period. Yeah, I didn't want to risk this knight f6 and castle, and because if I take it, there's d4, I'm underdeveloped, his bishops are well developed. It's just very scary stuff. Okay, so I played bishop g4 to make sure if he plays d4, I can take, and he can't recapture with knight. But if he takes with the bishop, I get the pair of bishops here. Okay, knight f6, castles, bishop e7. Yes, and he's a little bit better, but you know, pair of bishops, black is fine. Okay. So he played this first, castle, yeah, and now bishop e7. And the idea now is if he plays d4 and tries to do the same thing, there is this bishop f6. So, and if he plays g4, then also this bishop hits this thing, and I can play h5, knight h6. Oops. All right. So he plays knight a3, and I thought this was a little bit inaccurate. He should really go rook here in d4. But he plays knight a3. And now I saw this f5 idea. Extremely interesting. This is just like Spanish, yeah? f5, because if he takes e4, you take too many pieces. Also, the point behind bishop e7. So there is no pin. But I didn't know what to do after this. And apparently f4 was really good, but you know, I kind of don't play like this. I don't play chess like this. I really like to, you know, develop my pieces, castle, and then go for stuff like this, yeah. So here, but this was okay. All right, this was okay. It's kind of crazy actually, yeah. I mean, and this is apparently is fine for black. You can actually even take here, yeah. But 94. My God. What a position. Queen e2. And even this is possible, yeah. Even this is possible. Look at this pawn structure. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that every day, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so just so you guys know, this is possible, okay? f5. I play just safe chess. I play this and I castle. Okay, so he plays d3. I play this, development, and I thought knight c4 was inaccurate, but it's still okay. And here, you know, I played b4 just to stop. Once I trade this pawn on c3, he can never play d4. Yeah, that was the idea. Unfortunately, it's not really that strong, but it's not that bad. Yeah. So he took, plays g4, and goes knight h4, goes after my bishop. So this is a very complicated position actually, because he can take this bishop, he can play g5, h4, if he puts the knight on d5, I have 4 pair of bishops, and my bishop is locked, he can actually be better. Yeah. So knight d7 is a very normal move here. But I played this for some reason. I have no idea. Knight d7, I was worried about this. And yeah, a5. So the reason I didn't play it because I was worried about this sequence. Let me show you. Take, queen takes, a3, knight here, knight d5. And I was worried about this f4, yeah? So I have to play f6, and black is completely okay here. Yeah, black is completely okay. But I was kind of scared because if he gets this attack rolling, like bishop here, rook to a2, I don't have the defending bishop. My king is kind of, yeah, it's very risky, yeah. So I didn't want to do that. So I made a waiting move, rook a7. Potentially this rook can go to d7. Avoid this thing here. Knight c4, yeah. Okay, knight c4, knight c4. And bishop f8. Incorrect, actually. You need this bishop here so that bishop can later move to this diagonal, so a5 was absolutely necessary. And now it was a critical position again. And he took here, which I thought was not correct, yeah. Knight f5 was better. Because he now can play h4 and g5 and f4, yeah. And I'm a little bit passive. I didn't like my position here, so but after he took here, I was pretty happy because he got some holes here, but I need my bishop there. Yeah. So the critical move here, I think, was g5 and queen g4. He cannot play, but okay, bishop c1. Yeah, because you see, my bishop is completely locked. I cannot play d5. I mean, sometimes you can, but if I play it like this, he just protects it. And it's extremely complicated, yeah. Yeah, so I thought he should have this option at least of playing this thing here. So bishop c1 immediately, yeah. Instead he played bishop c3, and I went back. Not really necessary, you can play a5 first. And then he played this move, and I was kind of surprised, yeah, because after you play this move, it's very difficult to push this and that. And I stopped that. Rook b1 and knight h7, yeah. So the thing is, he's gonna play f4, get rid of this weakness, but I need to control the squares, okay. I remember I was trying to make this work, like f4 and knight d7, yeah. Because if he takes, you take with the knight, and then black is better because you get all the dark squares, yeah. This bishop is really bad. So I was trying to get that work, but I didn't know what to do after this. And yeah, I thought it was better for me, but not really that clear. Yeah. And also, of course, g5 and f6. So very, very complicated strategic game. I would say that again, his knight on c4 is not that well placed. He should be on d5. So black is definitely fine. But okay, I played this, take, take, take. And here I was really happy when I found this move. All right. You kind of need to stop the c5 and open the bishop. The other way to play this was to play knight g5. But then you need to really play this, yeah? You really need to play this. So you can at least have a chance later to play this. And it's a mess because my king is kind of open. If he puts the bishop here, rook here, it's dangerous. All right, so knight e5, if he takes the pawn, you know, obviously it's good for me. Bad bishop, I get this pawn. His king is open, potential trade, knight potentially goes to d4. This extra pawn that he has, it's like doesn't matter. Okay, and the thing is, I got his knight. This knight was super, super strong. So he plays this back. I play knight g5, win a tempo, And I managed to get the knight from h7 to e6. And again, if he takes this guy, it doesn't matter, okay? It does not matter because I can play this. Simple this. And his king is way weak. Yeah, I can create strong threats. It's advantage black. So the point is, you can sack the pawn if you get rid of his good piece and he's stuck with the bad pieces and his pawns are weak. So he played this. I think it was good, yeah. Bishop e7. He got extra pawn, but again, I'm getting my pieces into the game. All right. So he played this, and I need to calculate this. This was kind of important line. Queen c2 and either bishop f4. Yeah, bishop f4, a4, take, and bishop e5. So he got extra pawn, but I fixed his bad bishop, and I got the super nice squares. All right, black is better. And then he just starts creating counterplay, hitting these guys. Knight's coming, this bishop is useless. So he took, and I just went safe here, okay? I wanted to grab the pawn. Black is a little bit better in this endgame. And now he was low on time. I was trying to pose a lot of problems. He needed to play e5. That was his only chance. He needed to really open this bishop. Yeah, he really, really needed to open this bishop. I was going to play something like this. Take and rook d8. Very important move to prevent bishop coming here. If bishop comes here, he's better. But this stops it, yeah. And he is worse. But it's close to draw. So that was the only moment, where he could have improved, yeah. Instead, he played passively, and after this, he is now much worse. So we're getting this here, stops b4, bishop here, and I bring the king. If you play bishop f6 immediately, I mean, it's probably a win, but these double pawns are actually not that great, yeah. Not that great at all. It's very hard to win this. So I wanted to bring the king so I can take on f6 with the king, okay? g5, and then the king comes. So king d2, here, and he went for b4, and after that, he is just worse, yeah? Take, here, take. And the problem for him is if he takes this pawn, there's check, and rook c1, and he loses the bishop, okay? That bad bishop is lost. So he cannot take this pawn, and his only move was h4, yeah? I remember that. h4 with idea of g5, stopping this thing. Then he wants to play d4, and also he kind of needs to play g5 and create this luft for the bishop. All right. I mean, he's still bad, but I need to find this line, which is not so simple. Take. He cannot take immediately because of check on rook c1. Yeah, this is kind of critical. So, but if he cannot take, then it's a problem because he plays this, take, check, king f6. Yeah, I'm just in time. Lots of checks and rook a1. Yeah, the bishop is not getting out. Rook d1. Take, here, and just g5. So black is winning. Yeah. So what did he do? He played this immediately, but then this, and check. Rook c1 first. Now his pawn is not protected. I can take, and this is, despite the double pawns, it's a one endgame because I get a 5, okay? So he played this a little bit, but, the result of the game is never in question. You just push this guy, and you do this, so. Yeah, that was kind of crazy, yeah. Yeah, that was the demonstration of that bad bishop on g2. All right, so that was the group stage. Round number 5. Our team, where is it? Yeah, so, our Grandmaster team won. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. We won 5 games, so we proceeded. After this win, we pretty much guaranteed ourselves qualifying for the next stage. So we then play round 6. We play versus... Who we play? Yeah, we play versus Lyon Olympique Ishek. And again, small transposition. Bauer usually plays like on board 6 and 7, but he plays here on board 6. The reason we went for this team setup is because they have only one Grandmaster and lower title players. But as you can see, the match was actually very close. Yeah, very, very close. I'm playing very rare white color for the first time. And I didn't get anything because I couldn't remember my preparation. So we're playing Sicilian, and I decided to play a4, which I used to play a long time ago. So he plays this line, bishop c4, and now he plays this move. And like nobody plays it because everybody is playing bishop e6. And I'm trying to remember like why this move is not played. And the only reason it's not played is because I must play g4 here, yeah? And then if I play g4, doesn't this look like my game from the previous round with the colors reversed, yeah? Oh my god, I'm like, I really don't want to play that. I really don't want to play that. Yeah, but this is advantage for white this time, okay? If in the previous game, white did not have an advantage, but compared to the bishop on g2, this bishop is massive. All right, this bishop is absolutely massive. And the main idea is that you take, g5, knight h5, you play this, and you must play, if he wants to challenge you here, this is the key move. You eliminate this guy, okay? And you just win. That's the critical idea. But knight e5 first, so you don't. He doesn't get knight f4, yeah. So f6, knight e2, and this is advantage white. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Well, it's very risky because I'm like underdeveloped. But the advantage of a4 is you can put the rook, right? And I saw something like this, but I didn't see bishop e2 to be honest. Yeah, I saw that I have knight on d5. I have this nice looking structure. But I was like worried, yeah. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to play with white. Like, I wanted to play safe, solid strategic game with a small advantage. Nope. But if you don't play g4, this is extremely annoying pin, and you don't get any advantage, okay? So I played this. I decided to play safe. This, bishop here, trades. But the big problem now is like, how do you get rid of this pin? Yeah, it's very difficult. Because if you play queen d3, you run into this, and then this knight hits absolutely everything. Yeah, it's still a little bit better for me. That's what I actually wanted to play originally, yeah? Put the queen here, and if knight c5, then yeah, you can play rook d1. But you need to play this rook, not this rook. And once I played rook e1, you really don't want to play rook d1, psychologically. So, yeah, bishop b1 is not the kind of move that I will play ever, okay? I don't know what this computer is smoking, but bishop b1 is not the kind of a human move ever, okay? I mean, like, who plays bishop b1 in this position, right? I mean, like, can you even imagine somebody playing bishop b1? If somebody plays bishop b1 in this position, you're gonna get, like, looks like, dude, do you know how to play chess, yeah? Like, what is this? But it is the best move, yeah? It is the best move. And the reason it's the best move is because you are gonna play knight d5, and you're gonna play c3, and you're gonna stop f5, okay? And it actually makes a lot of sense. Because You're putting these pieces here, bishop on c2, everything is protected, and white is fine. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, optical illusion looks good, but useless. Okay, I didn't see it obviously. Yeah. So what I played this. I played this move, and I thought this rook looks nice here, and I can just move my queen. Yeah. Yeah, but he found this, and now I have problems. Like, how do I play this position? Yeah. Where should I put my pieces? He's gonna play knight c5, he's gonna play bishop g5. He can also play king h8 and then f5 and use this thing. So I really didn't like my position here. Yeah, I was thinking about knight e2. Yeah, thinking about knight e2. And the idea is if he plays this, you can play this. And theoretically, you can sack this pawn, yeah? Actually, it's not a sack because it's protected. And then the white is better. That's what I wanted to get. This is what I wanted to get, but I didn't know how to get it. Because I didn't know how to protect this pawn. Because if he moves here, it's a target. Apparently, it's fine, yeah? Because you play b4, c3, and the knights are perfect here. This is what I should have played. But, you know, when you see this hole, you have this tunnel vision. Like the knight, yeah, this is a square for the knight. Man, like perfect bishop, perfect square for the knight, yeah? But no, knight e2 was better, okay? So I put the knight here, he plays this, and if I put the rook here, I just came from there. And black is actually fine, because he can take, and he can grab this pawn, yeah? I'm pawn down. I didn't want that. So the only move, yeah, the engine suggests rook c3, but again, it's not a human move, yeah? Not a human move. And also black is fine. So what I came up with, I played this. So, question, how do you guys like this? Two rooks on the a file, yeah? I was like, no way. There is no way. This is good. But then I didn't see how I can lose this, yeah? So I thought, okay, I probably just play it and I pretend it's not me. Yeah? The guys, don't look at my board. You know, you don't see anything funny. Nothing to see here. Just pass by. Yeah, yeah. And at this point, I was like, I spent like almost 1 hour and like 30 minutes. I'm down now like to 20 minutes left. Yeah, and I'm seriously concerned about my position. Seriously concerned about my position. Well, the thing is that I'm trying to see if you play a5, how do you like this? You see this stuff? You see the pattern here? Everybody is moving here, leaving my king alone. But everything is protected, yeah? Yeah, this is very inhuman chess. Very inhuman. I really hated this position. And I was just thinking, you know, God, I just want to make a draw here. You know, I know I'm playing against the guy who is 2300. Yeah, but I really hate my position. All right, so he played this and I counted on this move because finally I can play this. Yeah, I got rid of this pin. I protect my pawn. And I'm happy. The only thing is you have to calculate the consequences of this move. So this is what I calculated, and he takes queen d2, and I thought this is, you see, white is better, yeah. All right, so what he did is logical. Take knight a4. So black is pawn up, but suddenly, you know, I have great position. Yeah, I have terrific position, perfect pieces, great rook. Reminds you, this rook reminds you of something, right? Remember Italian game that I played was black attack, yeah? So it looks absolutely fantastic. The only thing is I don't have a pawn. I don't have a pawn. Otherwise it looks great. And in fact, the pawn doesn't matter. This is extra pawn and it's absolutely relevant. But in your mind, there is this thought that I'm pawn down, yeah? So, and I played this move. Unfortunately, after this move, it's not that good. Yeah, I had to play g3. And then white has kind of advantage but he'll probably still play this and this. Yeah, this is perfect place for the bishop actually. Fantastic place. And now he's ready to trade the knights. But this is better for me because I have ideas like knight f5 and hitting the king. This is what I should have played, and I wanted to play it, but I didn't know if he can take this pawn. But apparently he can't. Yeah, because this bishop is trapped, yeah, and the pieces are trapped as well. And queen here, and this is really good move, yeah. Yeah, so again, I was low on time. I didn't want to give him second pawn, and I played safe. I played this, and I played g3 now. But unfortunately, this tempo was kind of important, okay? And he found this really nice piece regroupment. The bishop is great, and the game is equal, okay? He offered me a draw. I was really upset that, you know, I have this optically great position. I realized I have to get rid of this knight, which was correct. So I played back, and I need to set up b4 and c3. So he played this first line, and he played queen g4, apparently not the best line. I must play this, yeah. Knight a4, the only move. Take, take. And I played this and offered the draw because, you know, the ancient shows that white is still better, but I am so low on time, and if his knight comes here, bishop comes here, opposite color bishops, if he gets every queen to here and f5, I am cooked, okay? So I play this, and the idea is he plays this, and it's just extremely safe, and I can probably play this, okay? Or this even, because he takes, it's just a draw, okay? So I offered the draw, and he agreed. Even though objectively here white is fine. You're not risking anything with white in this position because of the strong bishop and huge pressure. Yeah. So only white can play for a win here. But because I was low on time, I didn't want to look for ways and spend my time and get in trouble. It's move number 27. I'm down like to 15 minutes, which left me with 15 minutes for 13 moves. That's too much. For me, that's time trouble, okay? So I offered a draw, safe. And obviously our team was still winning the match, okay? So better safe than sorry. All right, so this was crazy position. So round number 7, we are playing the main contender. No, we don't play the main contender. We play actually the weakest team in our group. And I actually had some rest, okay? Finally I got some rest. And as you can see, our team won 7-1, yeah? It was just a slaughter. So we qualified for the next step with another 3 teams from our group, but we won all matches. Huge thing. And we qualified for the higher pool. And now we have to play the thing about the French championships is that hey, good evening. So the thing about the French championships is that 4 teams qualify from each group, yeah? So we qualify and 3 other guys that we already played. But we don't have to play these guys again. So we don't play the teams that came from our group. It already is scored, okay? We only have to play the 4 teams from the other group. And in this group, our main contender, as you can see, was this team, okay? Look at their lineup. Vasily Graf, Hare Krishna, Yesipenko, Musart, Trigubov, Pelletier, like all grandmasters. I'm not saying the other teams were worse, okay? Like this team, Van Forest, Sadvani, Cheparinov, Gazoli, Bakro, yeah? Also, very strong teams. And of course the Marseille team, yeah? A lot of Indians. All right, so let's see. Who we played? In the first round, we played Marcel, chess, and guess what? I'm playing black again, right? So black is my specialty for this tournament. And the guy plays this, the Scotch, right? Because obviously he couldn't find advantage against that crazy d6 bishop e7 super solid line that I played in the group stage. Yeah, not enough time. And also he couldn't guess which board I'm gonna play. And I played, which board I played? I think that was board number 3, right? Yeah, actually it's put on board number 3. Usually I play on board 4 or 5, but we put our strongest guys here, yeah? And in this stage, Vasily Ivanchuk joined us, okay? Vasily Ivanchuk, the legendary player, he came straight from the tournament he played in Sweden, and he came to us. And after the tournament finished, he went to another tournament, something. The guy's absolutely incredible. He just plays non-stop the whole year. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, so the Scotch, yeah, the Scotch. Yeah, check if you're in for the finals, exactly. Why is there a global chess team league, or is there one? There is one, yeah. Does he have the energy? Yeah, he loves chess, man. He actually gets energy by playing games. He gets energy because it's a classical time control. He is very strong. He has time to think, time to prepare, and he is incredibly strong still. Yeah. So this guy plays it, and I'm like, man, I didn't look at this in ages. Yeah. So I'm like thinking, where is the problem? And I played this line like my whole life. Yeah. And he plays this, and I'm like, okay, I lost a game in Bundesliga to some grandmaster in this line, yeah, because I always play this move. I don't play knight f6 crap. Yeah, I think it's too passive. So I played this, and the idea is castle d6, prepare f5, and you know, active spielen. Okay. So I play this. He plays knight c3 and castle. So bishop e3, f5. That's what I used to play all the time. Take, castles, and this is the main line. Usually I play f4 here, and I'm pretty sure that's what he prepared. Yeah? The idea of f4 is to get the square for the knight. So the knight goes here, and you play d6, and it's actually a perfectly normal way for black to play. But I was just scared of some prep, and I play like a chicken, and I play this. All right, but if you play like a chicken like this, then white is better. Okay, that's the problem. So my idea is that I wanted to play, this is actually wrong, not a huge tempo, because nobody is going to give me this check, nobody cares, yeah. And I wasted important tempo, so I need to play bishop g4 immediately with bishop a5. But okay, it's not bad, it's not bad. It's useful in some lines, so it's not that bad. But he plays a3, perfect, yeah. He thought, perfect move, knight is free, and I have problems. So I play this move. The idea is that if he moves his rook somewhere, I can play d5, d4, yeah. If he plays bishop e2, my original idea was to play d5 here. But then I realized I'm blundering this, okay? Mate. And I lose the queen. So I'm like already nervous. I blundered, yeah, in my calculations. So I take, he must take with the knight, and here I thought that, you know, he's better, but maybe I can survive. And I should have played queen d7 for sure, and just this. g3, and yeah, knight g8, knight f6. Yeah, I have double pawns. He has clear pawn majority here. Nice squares for the pieces. White is better, but I can survive, yeah. Instead, I wanted to prove my point, and I played this. And it's a terrible move. Terrible move because this pawn is now weak, and I have to spend time to protect it. And he gets this time to invade, yeah. So he played this, queen d7, g3, solids, and I played knight d8. Normally you play knight a5 in this position. But this is really bad news because he gets the file, there is no attack, I was dreaming about this attack, but there is none. None. Absolutely none. And he just takes over the file, knight g5, and it's really bad position, okay? So I started thinking here what to do, and I decided to go full defense mode, okay? Knight d8 and c6. So he plays this because c5 is the threat, okay? So he plays this, he stops c5 first, and he plays this. Very logical centralization moves. Knight f7, yeah, trying to put the knight here. Knight d4, but this is logical, but apparently not accurate, yeah. You see, now black is okay. But I spent a lot of time here. As you can see, I'm down to 26 minutes left after 20 moves, yeah. And I have to figure out how to stop all his knight e6, doubling on the e file, f5 ideas, but I finally found it. This is the only move, yeah. Knight g8 with the idea of knight f6 looks logical, but it's incorrect. So, the idea is, if he plays f5 ever, you play this. There is no g4, and you hit this pawn, okay? So he plays this active move, but suddenly this knight is like, you cannot protect him, okay? Because if you move, there is knight e5, knight c4, but there is also b5, and black king is protected, okay? This knight controls g5, there is the threat of b4, and white is not better anymore, okay? That was crazy. I was very happy when I found this idea and he fell for it. And he started thinking here, and but black is already fine. So he plays this, and I play knight d6. Second best move. The point of knight d6 is that I'm hitting this guy and I want to have a tempo. Yeah. So he takes, plays g4, b5, and again, b4 is actually suddenly a threat. Okay. And also I want to trade the pawns. As you can see now, my pawn structure is fine. The knight got squares, protects the rook, and black is completely okay. The only thing I was worried about during the game if he trades here and goes for this endgame, but black is okay. Even this endgame, black is completely okay. The problem is that his knight is not that great, and if he plays like this, then it's already b4, yeah? So, black is fine. Yeah, maybe knight a2. But then my knight gets the square, yeah? And I can trade the rook, and it's equal. So I was very happy with my position. He was coming down on time. See, he also getting low on time. And he plays queen d4, not bad. Rook e8, challenging the file. And b3, already a step in the wrong direction. So you have to find this idea, queen d8 and queen f6. Because this queen is very strong, so I need to trade it. And if he takes it, I take with the pawn. And now I want to start hitting these guys. And black is already better, okay? So I'm now playing for a win here. So he plays h3, and he realizes he needs to get this knight to e6 somehow, one way or another, or to h5. If you play this immediately, you need to calculate this stuff, yeah? And obviously, you know, if you give up this pawn, black cannot be worse at all. So he plays h3 first, and I played h5, because I need to challenge this pawn. So he plays this, and rook g8, critical. Yeah, you want to put the king here, or the knight here or something, but it doesn't work. If you take here, knight f4, yeah, it's also possible, yeah? But you need to calculate this line, which I tried to calculate, but I didn't know if I can survive this, yeah? But apparently black is fine. So you can take this pawn, yeah? Instead, I just went and hit this guy immediately. And the idea was if he plays knight f4, take, yeah, take. And I thought I am okay here. Rook e6, like knight e4. Yeah, you have to calculate this line, yeah. Take. I mean, if he gives check here, you must play this. I mean, it's very, very tempting to take here and play g3, but it doesn't work. I mean, it is super sharp, yeah, super sharp. I thought I was worse here, to be honest. So, but then I saw this line and I thought like, okay, I'm better, yeah, I'm better here. And he probably saw this line too, that's why he didn't play it. But you know, black is absolutely fine here. Yeah, the point of this move is that you want to hit this thing. Rook b8 looks normal, but now he can play this and this, yeah. King f5, knight d7, and knight c5. So this is draw. He should have played it. Instead, he played. What did he do? Instead, he took here, and now, of course, black is better. Yeah. So he offered me a draw, and I refused because, you know, how can you offer me a draw here? I have superior pawn structure, fantastic knight, and all the trumps, and he's actually low on time than me. Yeah. So we play. Rook g5 stops rook g6. Yeah, because he wants to play rook g6 and double his pawns. Nope. And if h4, rook f5. So he plays this. d4. You can centralize the rook, but I didn't want to give him a tempo for the knight c5. So I played this first. h4 looks incorrect. I mean, he probably can make a draw here, but he needs to be like really correct. And it's not so simple. Take the pawn. f5. Rook e4 immediately. Challenge the rook. And I was very happy when I found this move. Yeah. Thanks to this rook, it's protecting. c4 is coming. So he has to move the rook and lose this pawn. Okay. Takes, but c4 was also very nice. I just wasn't sure what this position was after h5. Check, rook b1, and rook a6. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this position because I didn't see how I can give him a mate, and I was afraid that he might, you know, get here first. But okay, you can play this. Yeah, okay. But okay, I at this point I calculated that I can just take this pawn and play this, and I'm better. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's very close to a draw. What worked? Okay, what happened? 96 here, king b1, but it's not a draw. Yeah, it's not a draw actually. So I was lucky. The point is, if he takes, and takes here, this rook endgame is a win, easy win. Yeah. So all black has to do to win the game is to bring the king and push the pawn. If he does this, check, and king comes. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to hit this pawn immediately, but I thought that he had to play this move and stop my king from coming. All right. And apparently there is only one way to win this, and he must play this exact sequence and stop this rook from g1. And now white has big problems, and he's probably lost, yeah. But still, yeah. Knight f4, it's not so simple. Check, king here, and you get rid of this, and f4, yeah, and you win. So it's a winning position, but okay, let me show you the idea what happened in the game. d3, he put the rook here, but the problem for him is I have this move, and I have this, okay? It's kind of crazy, but this pawn is defended. And the moment you make your king move, check, and queen. So he is down to only moves with his knight and rook. And my king just comes, all right? If he takes, check, yeah. So here, he tries some checks, but the king comes and he resigns, yeah, because the king is here. All right. Yeah, this actually was a very, very good game. Yeah, rook g8 was very, very precise. Yeah, calculation. I was actually not in a bad form in this tournament. I calculated well. And, you know, this was the scotch. I was out prepared, but okay, not bad. So our team did, where's our team? Yeah, so this was a tough match, but we did beat Marcel because I won, and our guys at the end also won, yeah. But it was already 3 draws, so it was kind of close match. So the next round was, we played these guys. Yeah, they used to have extremely strong team, and they still managed to qualify for the finals this year. But they kind of lost a lot of strong players. Yeah, so we beat them 7-1, which is nice. I got actually another rest day, and Vasily, beat this guy. Yeah, so, and there are 2 more games left. So naturally, for the 3rd round game, they put me there. Yeah, am I there? No. Yeah. Oh yeah, I play Cheparinov. Yeah. So this was another close match. As you can see, a lot of draws and only 3 decisive games. And we got lucky. Yeah, we got lucky because, yeah, this is the crazy game, guys. I wanted to analyze this game for this game of the month for the Europa Checks, but Vasily is actually annotating this game himself. Okay, I'll just briefly show you this game. Absolutely crazy stuff I ever seen, like in the last decade. Okay, so let me briefly show you this game. I'm not going to commentate it because Vasily is going to commentate it. He's playing white, and his games against Bakro are always crazy. Always crazy. Last year he beat Bakro also. I mean, it was black. It was absolutely another madness. Okay, so, Bakro is extremely solid, correct player, centralizing chess, yeah. But Vasily is so creative, he gets out of sticky situations. So black is better, objectively, but, white is fighting, yeah. So take here, h3, okay. And you see, black is much better, but g4. And we're fighting for the squares now, yeah? So knight h4 and e4, correct. d3, correct. Knight e3, apparently not correct, but okay, f4. Yeah, but huge mistake, and after that, it's black wins the exchange, but look at this position. Look at this position. Knights blocking this dangerous pawn, and pawns are rolling, yeah? It is equal position. But what happened next? Yeah, normally any grandmaster plays king g1, king f2, and pretty much you resign. But Vasily has his own ideas. He just pushes his pawn. Mistake. Push pawn. Not correct, but okay. Not the best, but okay, it's still good. And d6 wins, but no check. Double question mark and question mark, yeah? So what we have now is that we have this position, okay? According to the engine, this is kind of a draw. See, this is actually equal, but this is not correct. He had to play 91, and look at white king. None of white knights can move because of the mate threat, yeah? The king cannot move. If you move the rook, he takes this knight, and because this pawn is queening. So this is equal position, okay? After a massive exchange of mistakes, it's now equal. But this is a mistake. And because of that mistake, now white wins, yeah? Because he managed to find the way to untangle, finally. That was crazy. White is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White has extra knight for the pawn, and yet the position is equal. Anyway, this game is extremely complicated, beautiful lines. Vasily should annotate it for the Europa checks. Look for that game, all right? What did I play? I play against Cheparinov. I'm playing white, but Cheparinov is notoriously difficult opponent for me. He's a theoretical player, and he's also very sharp, yeah? So I play d4, I go for London. Just London, so solid, yeah. No theoretical lines. I play London because I know it probably just as good as he does, yeah. There's the only opening which I feel like I know stuff like at the level of the top specialists. So we played this line, and he surprised me with this. This is the only line that I didn't check. I checked every other line, found some ideas, but this is the only line that I didn't check because he never played it before. And then I'm like, okay, yes, there is this line. And black is completely okay, yes. So black sacrifices the pawn, but he gets pair of bishops and clear compensation, yeah? Because very strong bishop, pressure, and white got nothing, okay? So we play, rook here, bishop here. He just trades and a5, and I got nothing. White gets nothing in the opening. I put here, rook c8, okay, a3, and I just want to close this pressure. And I play this, and I offer a draw, okay? Because I'm super solid, he's not going to win this, but I'm not going to win it either. What's going to happen is normally we probably trade all the pieces. He wins, and I trade these 2 pawns for this pawn, and it's just 4 versus 4, and it's just draw, okay? It is extremely likely to happen. Because knight closes the rooks, bishop is strong, his bishop is also strong, but he cannot make progress and I cannot make progress, okay? So, and I'm like, okay, draw is fine, yeah, draw is fine. We have a stronger guys on the last few boards, and we win the match. It was a very tough match. So we come to the final round, and we play the main competitors, okay? We are playing the main competitors. We're playing Anier Le Grand Échiquier, okay? Both teams, actually no, in the previous round, these guys drew the match, okay? But if they beat us and we get the same number of points, because a direct encounter is a tiebreaker, yeah, they can win. So we're on the first place, but we must draw the match at least, okay? We must draw the match. And the lineup, you don't know who you're playing, because they switch, they shuffle, I shuffle, yeah, and our team shuffles. So we put Vasil on the first board, super solid, and we actually managed to. Usually, they put me with black against Vasil Graf. He plays with whites, but not today. Not that day. I said I don't want to play Vasil Graf with black anymore. Yeah, I keep getting like terrible positions against him in the opening. I'm not surviving. So black, but okay, on some lower board, please. Yeah. So they put me as black on this fourth board, and I'm playing last year's French champion, Jules Moussard, yeah? Or I think he was a champion of France, like in last few years or something. Yeah. So this match, huge, yeah? And, all right, here's the game. And what happened is that, yeah. Yeah, I managed to win, but I was very lucky. Yeah. So the first surprise is he repeated this line. I just played it 2 days ago. I didn't expect this from him. Yeah. But obviously he comes prepared. So we play, and he plays this line. And I told you this is a line that beat me in the Bundesliga. And then I was analyzing this line, and I realized that my standard plan of castling f5, it doesn't work here, okay? White is just better. So I analyzed this line, but I couldn't remember the analysis, yeah? I didn't expect this opening. But I remember my analysis, and the analysis was that I have to go for this long castle, okay? So he was, that was a big surprise for him, because I never played this before. But this, I think, is the most solid line for black. It's like Petrov, remember where in Petrov, there's this old line. Black gives up his pair of bishops, but castles long side, and he builds this defensive wall, yeah, with his knights and one bishop, versus pair of bishops for white. And it's very difficult for white to win. He has advantage, but it's difficult to win, okay? So he plays f3, and I remember that I had to play this move first. If I castle, it would be a problem because there's a4, a5 coming, okay? And also there's some problems here in this line. And there's probably some huge analysis, and I'm pretty sure black may be okay, but you need to be prepared for this. And I remember I didn't want to play this, so I played f5. And he was surprised here, okay? He didn't expect this move. He plays this, but after take, Now black can actually castle short side, yeah? But again, I wasn't sure, and I played this move. It's not bad, but the main line is, according to the engine, you see it, yeah? Castles, and then you have to play this move, which no grandmaster will ever find himself in the board. It's from the same series from that game, remember, Najdorf, bishop b1. I mean, which grandmaster in his right mind would ever play this move here? Okay? I can guarantee you no grandmaster would ever look at this move. And yet this is the first line. I mean, once you understand the idea that you need to get rid of this weakness, but the queen has to be here for some reason. Yeah? You cannot just play this because it's very passive. And white just goes h4, and you see it's huge advantage for white. Free attack. Okay? And obviously I didn't see that. Okay, so I played knight g6, and I saw the setup that I wanted to play. I wanted just to put my knight here and block the attack. Okay, so that's what I did. So he plays g3, bishop g3 is very logical, but he plays g3, makes sense. I play this, he plays this, and I play this. So I don't castle. I put all my money on this knight, and if he plays bishop e2, I play this. Yeah, and I lock the position, and I want to castle. So that's my plan, and as you can see, actually the computer agrees. Black is fine. Yeah. So Jules here he was thinking. Okay, he has now 36 minutes, and I also offered him a draw around here. Okay, just in case. No, to be honest, I offered him a draw here. Okay, he has 1 hour 27 minutes. He thought for almost 1 hour here, okay? So somewhere at the point where he was thinking for 45 minutes, I offered him a draw, okay? Because he was taking so long, and I just, you know, draw is black is fine, okay? It turns out that if he accepted the draw, the match would be a draw. We would still be champions, okay? But he started to play for a win here, and he played this, and I played this. Yeah, you can play knight g4 also, but I thought bishop g4 is fine. And then I saw this line which kind of made me extremely nervous. So he could have played this and this, or this. So I cannot castle here, and I can't castle here because of the check, okay? You lose immediately. So if he played this, I'm in huge trouble, okay? So I have to play something like this and give him this pawn. Probably playable, because his pawns are weak, strong bishop. I have some measure of compensation, and maybe I can make a draw, but he has a pawn up and he has advantage. So that's what he should have played, okay? I'm pretty sure he didn't see this queen g5 idea. And 97 check, okay? I was so lucky, you know. So he plays this and spends a critical tempo. I was so happy, and I can castle, and now I'm safe. So he takes, plays knight d4. I play this immediately, yeah. So I'm very happy with my position. His only problem was instead of knight d4, he can go for c4, c5, or a4, a5 and hunt my bishop. This is the only piece that causes me problems. Okay, so king b8 and rook f8. At this point I was happy. I knew that I will not lose this game. I have 0 weaknesses. He has beautiful knight, but he has weaknesses, yeah, and also this bad bishop. So he plays this move, and it's a mistake. And I had to find this correct sequence, and knight f6. And after this, he is losing a pawn, almost by force. Because if he takes here, take the g6 is the threat, followed by the queen g4. And as you can see, the computer agrees, yeah? The reason you don't play this immediately is because after knight f6 here, he has this e5, all right? But after I saw knight f6, I realized I'm better. And he's down a pawn. So the team is here. At this point, we won some guy won the first game, and our two guys in trouble. Okay, so we're looking at the situation. We can lose the match. So this game was quite important. Okay, so when the guys saw that I got an advantage, they went like, "Ooh, all right." And okay, so but it's also easy to win this. Heavy pieces, extra pawn here, doubled, very hard to win. What worked for me is I have way more time, and he has to do something. G6, rook here, and you have to see this move, okay? The idea behind this move is that I needed to avoid the checks, the trade of the rooks, and the perpetual along this diagonal. Also, I need to find a plan how to improve my position. That must include the king here. Yeah, the king here. And he's also in the kind of Zugzwang. So he plays a4. Grab, grab. You cannot allow the queen here, so queen d5 is a must. And he plays this waiting move, and he protects everything, and it's very hard for me to win. So what do? You have to play this. And the threat is to trade this active rook and go into the queen endgame, where he has clear weaknesses and good chances for black to win. The other point is, if he does all these checks, king is very safe. There's b5, and again, problems for him, yeah, because in the future there's rook a8 to queen a8, like king d8, and like what to do, yeah. Queen is stuck. The queen goes here, rook a8, and now I'm the one who will be attacking the a file. So when I saw this idea, I played it. He was not happy. He played this, but then I found this idea, yeah. And the point is that my pawn is now moving. Yeah, he moves back, trade the rook. Rook here is a mistake, because now I'm the one attacking, yeah. I'm the one attacking, so he's pawn down, but he's also under attack, and he has only 48 seconds left to make another 5 moves. Almost impossible task. So check, c6, and d5, yeah. c5 now the threat. He plays this, but now I can just take the pawn. So it's 2 pawns, infiltration, mating threat, and check here, and I need to, okay, here I need to think, because I have 2 ways to win this. Yeah, I can trade the queens, but I played this. And I knew that he's gonna take this rook, because he is lost, yeah, he is lost. If he takes here, and the king is cut, he's down 2 pawns, he's lost also. But then I saw this move, and he has no time to take this pawn because of the mate, okay? So he gave me a couple of checks, and he resigned here. And thanks to this win, we went +2, and there were only like 3 games left, and only 2 guys could lose. So even if they lose, we drew the match and we win the title, okay? So this was the end. Yeah. No, I offered him a draw only once he spent like 45 minutes already, okay? When I offered him a draw, he thought for another 5 minutes, and then he made his move. So I didn't offer him a draw before, okay? Only when he was really thinking for a long time, and I felt like he couldn't find the advantage, okay? And I offered him a draw, and I think it was fair offer. I think it's fair, because nobody like, there's certain etiquette for sure, but offering a draw is like, nobody can say anything about it. It's a normal procedure in chess. The rules in this championship is that there are no Sophia rules. You can offer a draw and move 10. Like, for example, in this day, there are a lot of games that just ended in a draw 5 minutes after the start, and people just left, okay? And I think it's, in a team championship, I think that's actually a good idea. Because if people have nothing to fight for, like if people are fighting in the second group, yeah, okay, they are fighting for survival. Yeah, they're fighting for their place to remain in this championship. Because if you like score in the last places, you're kicked out to the lower division. All right. So yeah, they do that. But you know, if both players they're super solid, they don't have to fight something for. They already secured this place for the next year. They just make a draw and go home, yeah, and they get some rest. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that's the recap of my top 16 championship. Let's see how many points I got from this. I mean, in this lower pool, in this A pool, because I played super solid, but I didn't manage to beat the lower rated guys. I lost here. I went -2 rating, okay? I went -2. So it was 2607. I lost 2 points, 2605. Because I scored +2 and I made too many draws against lower rated guys, okay? However, in the higher pool, because I played higher rated people, where am I? I'm here. In the higher pool, as you can see, I actually gained 9 points because I scored 2 victories, including the last round win. Yeah, and Ceparino had actually higher elo than me. So I actually overall gained for this tournament is 7 points. Yeah, so I should be like 26-14. I mean, no, not a big crazy deal, but still. So, yeah. Freycinet held MFL to a draw, but you know he told me after the match was over that he was very happy that you know I confirmed my win, so he didn't have to worry about you know that if he loses the game, we'll lose the match, because he knew that even if he loses the game, the match is drawn and we still are the champions. Yeah, and that's actually extremely helpful because then you can just relax and play and find the best moves. Yeah. Because you don't need that extra pressure on you, yeah? You really don't need that. Imagine the feeling, like, you're the cause of your team losing out on, you know, prize first, second, yeah? Nobody wants to be in that position, nobody. It's extremely unpleasant situation. So, yeah, psychology is critical, absolutely. All right, gentlemen. So as I said, look for the Ivanchuk's commentary of his game, crazy game against Bakro. I mean, they have this history of crazy games in this coming edition of magazine of Europa Chess. And I also annotated the game from the Norway. Let me show you this game. From the Norway. Where is Norway? The past, yeah, here. All right, so I'll tell you which game I annotated. It was pretty crazy game, and I annotated this game. The reason I annotated this game is because this is the last round, and this game decided the final standings. Okay. For example, if Gukers drew this game, then Fabi would not score 3 points. He would score lower. And Gukish would only need another half a point to actually share the first place with Magnus, okay? And he could actually really well actually beat Fabiano in the Armageddon because he's younger and you know, younger and faster calculator in the fast time control game. So if Gukish didn't lose this game, he would actually be on the second place, okay? And if he beat Fabi in the Armageddon, he would actually share first, second place. And the standings would be completely different. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. So, and this was wild game. All right, so I annotated this game for the Europa Chess. Look for it in this next edition. And that's the end of the recap, guys. I'll see you probably I'll try to do Wednesday or Thursday. I'll try to do Fischer Chess Arena, okay? I do not guarantee it, but I'll try. All right. All right, guys, I'll post this video, this recap on the YouTube. I have a lot of stuff on my YouTube, but it's in private, you cannot see it. I got really upset with the YouTube because I've been putting stuff on YouTube for years now, and I still don't get a single cent from that. All right, so I'm kind of like bummed and stop doing it. But I will put this recap on YouTube. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming, and I hope you learned something. All right. And I'll see you guys later this week. Good night.